The final two races of the season. So, we are getting ready now for what should be something that I'm very excited for. Let's go to the Las Vegas Grand Prix. So, of course, it's the final race, or final two races of season one, and currently Red Bull have actually secured the constructors. Okay, just notice that right there. It's now currently mathematically impossible for RB to catch up. So yeah, didn't know that last time, but this time I do know. So Red Bull are your constructors champions, but in the drivers it is still there. Unlikely, yes, but impossible, most certainly not. Of course, anything can happen in Formula One. All it takes is just a really bad race for us, Theo, and he may not end up winning this championship. So, yeah. Obviously, we've gotta prepare ourselves things that could occur. So now I'm gonna ping the Discord server about this. And there we go. I've also got Twitch opened up as well, so here we go. I'm able to be in the chat. And if you are watching, then feel free to put some comments down in the chat. Okay, it's took us a while, but we're finally here. We're back, and there we go. That was a long time to get to the Las Vegas Grand Prix. But yeah, we've actually made it, so nice.
Welcome to the Silver State.
So here we go, Las Vegas. Let's just simulate practice and qualifying as per usual. We always do this just so we get straight to the starting grid and to the race. So here we go, Verstio has a good chance of securing the title here in Las Vegas. Practice is looking a little weird here, to be honest. But here we go, starting grid, and it is your boy on pole, okay. This is really bad though for the other RB of Van Horn, who's down 7th. So your boys on pole from Verstio, who's now got an extremely good chance of the title now. P2 is absolutely incredible. His teammate Palomino's in 3rd, then we've got Headley, Boxarov, Gorov, Van Horn, Ulcharov, and Hayek, Sergiera, Devin Castro, Eduardo, Ocampo, Benedetto, Kari, Ahmed, Olsen, myself, BDS, and Lamfong. And also this thing where I just get forced to scroll up, like constantly. Turns out it's actually just stick drift I've got.
The anticipation is really... We're all ready to go in Las Vegas. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And of course, as per usual, since it's the start of the race, we retire the car. Wait, the safety car is there. So yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, since this has just been mentioned in the chat, the cars at the start of the season are all set to 1 out of 5, so there are some slight differences. However, the grid is mostly the same. The teams do develop after the first round. But yeah, here we go, Las Vegas. Yeah, it's a good start for Palomino though, which is good for him. Honestly, Verstio's not really got much to do. He just has to try and secure a good place. But yeah, your boy's had a good start. He's still in P1. He's kept that lead. RB cannot finish first in the constructors. That is not possible anymore. And Van Horn can't finish first at the moment because Verstio's all the way up in P2. And he would have an incredibly high points lead in the final round. A gap that will just not be able to be overturned. So yeah, this currently looks just like a celebration race for Verstio. Of course, we got Boxarov here in 5th. He realistically should have won last time out in Qatar. If you've not seen Qatar from the previous stream, I do recommend you go watch it because that final lap of that race was just crazy, absolutely crazy. So yeah, worst teams of the season. The teams that have been the absolute worst, if you're going to go off constructors, it has been Alpine. But we've also seen Ferrari do really bad. Typically Ferraris, they're normally both in the midfield. One's doing good, one's doing bad. It's one of them two possibilities, really. Ringo Boxarov down the inside. Nope, can't get ahead of Headley. Your boys managed to keep his lead as well, which is good considering that slipstream on that strip would have for sure been really good for Verstio right behind. No fast lap of the race set there for your boy. And he managed to pull out a second lead there, so it's clear Verstio and Palomino struggle in straights a little bit. And that probably explains why he couldn't get ahead of your boy down the Las Vegas strip. Now DRS is activated for Nicholas Palomino. Has a good chance there, just not good enough to get out of his teammate. Boxarov, he also had a little look at a move, but overall he could get the move done. And there we go, the stick drift is taking effect again. Yeah, stick drifting is like really annoying though. I only discovered it last night. But anyway, now your boy under some proper pressure here from Versio. He's gonna try and go around the outside there, but nope. Doesn't get ahead here. That's probably the better choice to make. Because down the straight is where you're gonna have DRS, and DRS is really good. Oh, okay. Versio went straight for the move. Now RB seemed to be quicker in the straights than Red Bull. You can already see it from here, and there we go, DRS is active for your boy. Is he going to switch over to the inside? Probably looking at it, but doesn't go for it. He stays in P2, but now we've got a big train target form. We've pretty much got the entire top 5 in it. You can even go further down if you want to count cars that are within a second. You may as well start to count them now. Ringo Van Horn up into 7th place. He needs a miracle today. He needs to try and win this race. He needs to win, and Versio needs to be right in the bottom part of the points, or even out of this race. Now, with temperatures being extremely cool on in Las Vegas in the night, it is safe to say harder compounded tyres are not recommended. But there we go, Van Horn up into 6th position there, still trying to fight for it. Grigorov on the outside line, he gets up into 6th, reclaims his place, and that is the RB back down into 7th. Now it's that part of the race where we just fast forward, because we don't go through the full races. That would be a little bit mental. But here you go, your boy up into 1st position there. Headley still behind. However, your boys had a forced first steal there on the outside line. It gave Headley a little bit of a chance. But you go on to the Las Vegas Strip. This is where positions can change so easily. And there we go, that's a change for the lead. Your boy down into 2nd, Versio up into 1st. Oh, yellow flags there. Oh, Cambo, he's landed a lock up there, turn 17.
Well, you could see the lockup. They were just unable to do much about it.
Yeah, that was not a good lockup there. Like, what, 3 places lost there? Can't be having that. Yeah, currently looks like your boy and Versio are just constantly swapping for the lead this race. It doesn't seem to be changing. Here on lap 7 though, you can clearly tell who has been pushing and who has not. In the tyre life, look at Olsen there. He is down 14th place on 64% softs. Versio in 2nd is on 58%. There's a very clear difference between them. Once again, stupid stick drift is doing stick drift things. Yeah, what is this? I am not even touching my controller. And yeah, I'm just looking at this. Your boy's had an incredibly good exit there on that corner. He's got a good advantage on this strip. Now, I don't know if your boy's going to be able to get ahead then, because, you know, that gap is quite big. Oh, he is catching. He just looks like he's going to send it down the inside there of the RB. It's Red Bull versus RB once again this season. It gives your boy the room, but in the end, Versio does get ahead. But look at the traction from your boy. It's worked out. Because he's now back up into 1st place. Okay. There we go. Once again, another swap for the lead this race. So these two are going to be constantly swapping. Oh, wait, never mind. Headley's up into 2nd. That means he's got a chance now to try and fight for the lead this race. Palomino's now down to 4th position. Van Horn's up into 5th, actually. This is good. This is good performance and pace by Taco Van Horn. His tyres as well are a lot better than the guys ahead of him. In fact, in the entire top 6, he's got the best tyres. even though there are harder compounds ahead of him. And there we go, Headley up in the first place there. The Haas moves up, and wow. So we've got a Haas leading from a Red Bull and 2 RBs. Okay. Now that is interesting. Van Horn, there we go, he takes 4th. He's gonna soon probably dethrone his teammate as the best RB in Las Vegas. Now Headley, he's got a lot of work to do. He's gonna have to try and defend from so many different drivers. Versus Theo as well, he's just round the back of the Haas. And they've had similar exits, and the slipstream's just that's only gonna just enhance versus Theo's pace here down the Las Vegas Strip. Now, I can ensure that DRS will be active for versus Theo very shortly. Looking on the rear wing, and there's a red flag! Red flag! Akari's had an incident, and there he is in the wall. That is a pile-up. No car's able to get by. SL24 actually being stuck right there in neutral gear. Obviously to avoid Akari, it's held everyone up, and there we go. Red flag is out. So that's really going to be good for the drivers on the lower tyre life. So yeah, that's guys like Versio as probably the biggest example here. If you look at Van Horn, he still had 16% over Versio, and that's just completely gone. That pace he could have had until the end of his stint, all gone.
Going into turn 12.
So we're going to overtake Van Aston Martin, and he was just forced in the
Now,
wall.
their confidence will have taken a hit with that.
So, yeah. McLaren's bad luck once again continuing for the 11th race in a row. So here we go. So this is your restart order. Just put a car down into that 20th position slot and move everyone ahead.
Here resumes as we get back underway. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And this time, okay, I can't even talk. At least this time we didn't have to pause to retire cars. But here we go. On the restart, Van Horn needs to get ahead of his teammate, but instead he might end up falling to his rival's teammate, Nicholas Palomino, who's on the inside line. Daniel Bogdasarov has managed to lock up on turn 17 somehow, even though we were heading into turn 1. Okay. Yeah, Headley, he has got the restart he needed. Mediums and hards are all over this grid, and temperatures have only went down, so drivers on the medium tyre have got to make use of their mediums versus people on hards, because the hards are going to take a while to heat up. The mediums will as well, but not as long as the hards. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is Van Horn needs to get ahead of your boy ASAP. If he doesn't do it, he is going to be putting himself at high risk in the championship. And once again, Headley defends, of course, no DRS on that lap. But this time, we have got DRS. And Van Horn, he's got another opportunity to try and get ahead. But there we go, he's dropped. He's dropped over a second there. Headley doing the switchback on Versio, and he's back up into the lead of this race. Your boy, he almost went for a little move there. And there go Palomino, mechanical fault on his car. That's not going to be good for the Red Bull. Van Horn, fastest lap of the race for 141.5. That's a solid lap. And I've got, look at that, Versio Headley side by side there through one of the thinnest parts of this track. They've got to be careful, or else your boy will be trying to make a move. He's already probably trying to make it. RB, they've got to work together. Pretty much anything to make sure that they can secure second place in this championship. They are still side by side though. It's hard to tell who's going to be the one getting DRS on the strip. Probably Headley, because now he has properly dropped down to P2. Oh, there we go, he sends it. He's not giving us on up yet. Versio, he's got better traction despite being on the hard tire. But there we go. Your boy up in the second. Now he's just gonna go for the outside while Versio's busy defending. But never mind, he's been cornered. He is cornered. He's been cornered into that wall there. Headley moves up into first place. Van Horn going up into third. He is side by side with his own teammate there. Two RBs fighting for position. I think they don't even care now at this point about like their races. They're gonna fight if they want to. As you can see, your boy, he has still got a mathematical chance to take third. So to do that, he also needs a miracle race. So yeah, that's probably why he doesn't really care about his teammate right now. So yeah, if you're just tuning in right now, this Las Vegas Grand Prix has had many switches for the lead, and we've also had a red flag caused by Akari, who, as you can see, is the first and only retiree of this race. And here we go, your boy. This is what I meant about going for a move. He went for it. He had a break early. That's not been good for him. His teammate gets ahead. Van Horn taking an opportunity, a risky one, but it's one he's got to do if he wants any chance of getting the win today in Las Vegas. He's got to do it. He's went for the move. This time it's worked out. There we go, helmet cam for Headley. This is a camera which I personally love myself. Of course, it does have its flaws, as does every other camera angle. Let's be honest, who even uses the nose cam in this game? Who actually uses it? I don't know anyone who does. There we go, Palambilo's fault. It has gotten worse. It's gone worse, we have to see it.
Surely some kind of fault.
Of course, a fault of Las Vegas isn't good. I don't think it's a power fault though. If anything, it might be an ERS fault. That is my prediction on it. If it was a power fault, Palomino would be falling way more back than he currently is. So, yeah, that is my prediction. Ultra in the Ferrari, like I said, one Ferrari does good and the other does bad. That's exactly what's happening here. And he is getting closer and closer to the guys at the top. And here's Van Horn with DRS closing in on Headley and Versio. They're still holding each other up there. Van Horn on the inside line. Headley does cut him off there. Now Headley back on the chase for Versio as we head onto the start-finish straight very soon round the final corner. A very fast corner on this calendar. Is Headley going to center there? No, you're not. These drivers though, they're going to have to take some risks if they want to be able to win this race. They've got to take some risks. You know, what's Formula 1 without any risks in it? And here's Ultra down the inside. And there we go. He's up at the 4th position. He's now got to try and chase the top 3. It is certainly possible for him to chase his top 3 well. Now, is he on mediums? Yes, he is. His mediums are a lot better than all the tires of the guys ahead. So, yeah, this is currently looking really good for the Colombia driver. As the Colombia will soon activate his DRS system as we head down the Las Vegas Strip. And there we go, that is the DRS there. He has got Van Horn alongside him. As we're on board, Ultra moves up into 3rd position there. And that'll be much to the disappointment of Taco Van Horn. The Dutch driver now down at the 4th. See, here's the thing, last time Ferrari were in a podium place with Belgium. And if you watch that race, you know how it ended. It was disastrous. Penultimate lap, BDS was in 2nd, and then he spun and crashed out. Obviously disappointing Ferrari. And here we go. There's just no way to get a solid winner right now because
And yep,
the lead
yep,
is
the
constantly
Haas
changing.
affected
Oh,
there.
oh,
Let's see
Theory
what happened
Headley.
there. Now this happened as they arrived at turn 12. Within a split second, the impact's made. Now I imagine their confidence will have taken a knock.
Yeah, I also imagine Headley will not be happy right now with Versio because Versio's one who pushed him wide. Of course, being pushed wide as a result put him into the wall. So yeah, not good at all for him. Now I'm starting to think maybe it is a power issue, Palomino, because he's just gaining absolutely nothing. He's just doing non-stop losing. But as you can see, we've got Williams in the points there. Ultra back up into third position. Van Horn's made his way up into second. However, now Versio is pulling away. Ultra takes second. Wow. What is this Ferrari on? Jeez, Ferrari. What are you doing? His tyres are so much more better than Van Horn's. David Saracchiara, he's going to get in the fight now. He's within a second of his Taco Van Horn, and his tyres are a lot better. So I can imagine at some point Saracchiara is going to get ahead. What is going on? Ultra Bro, he now leads the Las Vegas Grand Prix for the Ferrari team. What is this madness that's going on? Fastest lap of the race, it's a 1:40.578. Wow. Ferrari are making me shiver my timbers right now. What is going on? Anyways, Van Horn, he's now got a really good chance to get ahead of Versio. He's got DRS. He's finally going for the move there at what, a speed of 301 kilometers per hour he managed to reach there. I'm British, so I don't understand kilometers per hour. But I know it's a high speed. But yeah, Van Horn is up in the second, but he is diving into pits. He's going into pits. Obviously going for the undercut of Versio, who's on harder tyres anyways. So let's just see what sort of a stop this will be for RB. Have they got the pit crew trained well enough to do this? And yeah, that's like a decent stop. And as a result, Van Horn comes out in 14th position. He needs to try and defend this though from Dominic Verdetto, because if that Alpine gets ahead, that is going to be a really big problem for the RB. There we go, Verdetto round the outside. The Alpine does not need to fight this position, but he does it anyways, probably relying on Van Horn to block Silla. But surely Van Horn's going to get DRS here. I think this lap, the only thing Van Horn's managed to do is just lose time. Oh wait, David Saracchiara. Since when was he first? Well, he just took the lead off of Ultra Bro. And now got Aston Martin leading from a Ferrari. Thierry Headley comes in the pits for Haas. He's diverted away from the rest of the field. So let's just see what is going to go on with Headley in his pit stop. What tyres will he go on to? Van Horn went on hards, and it's hards again for Headley. But there's an issue. The rear left. Something went wrong with that, I can see. And now we have Williams of Axel 44, who's come out the pits on mediums. Here is Headley, now on fresh set of hards. I don't understand what's just went on though. There's been some sort of issue at Haas, and it has cost them valuable time, which they probably won't even get back. Now, Saracchiara sides are 5% better than Ultra Bros. They're also on a softer compound than the guys like Versio and your boy. And they've got better tyre life. That is just a recipe for pace. They are going to be pulling away from the Red Bull and the RB very, very easily. However, if they fight too much, that will cost them. It will cost them without a doubt. So they need to get a move on and not fight too much. Ultra there, pretty ambitious move, but it works. He's through into first position once again. And they've been making a lot of time on Versteel every lap, so I don't think they've got anything to worry about at the moment. Now, Jack Van Horn this race, he is 16 seconds back. He will probably lead the way by the time everyone else comes in. And he's on hard, so they will be taking him to the end. Now, what about Sergio and Ultra? What are they willing to do? Now, I don't know what tyres they started this race on. Okay, Ultra and Sergio. Both of them started on hards. So, would they be allowed to use another set of mediums? Because they changed the tyre on the red flag. I imagine they would. So maybe they're extending for a second set of medium tyres in this Grand Prix. And for an F1 manager, 2 sets of mediums is a pretty rare occurrence. So once again, Lee is just constantly swapping between these two guys here. Van Horn now 13.5 back. He is without a doubt gaining time as this race goes on. Van Horn now a whole pit stop ahead of Palomino and more. And it looks like Van Horn is gaining 2 seconds a lap on Ultra and Davy Cerqueira. There's just surely no way that Cerqueira and Ultra are going to be putting on the hards. Maybe they have to do softs. I don't know. Strategy at Las Vegas is a very crucial thing, and it can be hard to get right. Now there is a whole 6-second gap. It is safe to say for Ultra and Cerqueira, they are not just pushing for maximum tyre life, but also pushing to make Van Horn wear out his tyres. Maybe this is a possible thing. Versteel there, coming in the pits, pretty much a pit stop behind Van Horn now. He's been on a roll right now. Grigorov's coming in the pits as well. Your boy is only 5 seconds up the road from Van Horn, and with the rate that he's gaining, he'll be there in a few laps time. A few laps ain't so much. Okay. I take literally everything I said back. What in the world is this pace? Out of nowhere, Van Horn is now right behind him. So maybe Sergio and Ultra think that Van Horn might want to make another stop. I don't know what's in the minds of these two drivers. Whereas Ultra and Sergio, they're alongside each other right now as they are heading towards the final corner once again. They're staying out from the pits. They're avoiding it under any circumstance. Benayek's in the pits, and Eduardo, he's also in the pits. And now Van Horn is right within a second of Ultra and Cerqueira. However, he has lost time on the exit there. That's a bit of a surprise. Ultra first of them top two to make the call to coming at the pit lane, 28% on his tyres. I'm not surprised. But let's just see where he'll be once he comes out the pits. It's softs, okay. So softs were the choice there down at Ferrari. They went for the red tyres for the red team. And he's going to come out the pits in P8 with many drivers in front who might still be making another stop. I know BDS will be making another stop in this race. Your boy will as well. Daniel Baltzar fast lap the race in a 1:38 now. Okay, that fast lap is coming down quick. And as expected, Ultra is starting to make some time there. Cerqueira, he's overtaken by Taco Van Horn after that lap. And he's coming into the pit lane, so let's just see how far ahead Ultra will be, because I think it's safe to say Ultra will be ahead. He's 14 seconds out from Taco Van Horn, who looks to be the driver to beat today. Now, all that fighting ahead is not going to be good for Ultra. Yes, he catches up, but on the other hand, he's going to have to try and get past this whole train that his own teammate has made. And if you know anything about trains at Las Vegas, it's hard to push through them. And there we go. Sergio has already made like almost a whole second on Ultra just this lap alone. BDS now down to 5th. He's Ultra on the outside line. That should get him through into 5th position, because he's got better grip on them tyres than his teammate, who's really worn down his tyres. And is he going to be ahead? Not yet. DRS enabled, and BS has got more traction, more speed. And Ultra's being blocked from making a move. He has been blocked there, so I don't know what Ferrari are thinking. Him and Sergio now starting a swap. 15 laps to go, and time is running out. Ultra is now starting to lose time. There we go. He's finally got rid of that train. He's been cleared. Your boy's tires, they are wearing out. He's going to make another pit stop. Davey Serracchiara pulls through in the Aston Martin. He's going to be the first one of him and Ultra to get up in P3, I imagine. Oh wait, never mind, that could change, because Ultra now, he's got the inside line this time. He's going to get ahead of Serracchiara, I think. Yep, he does. Palomino down to 13th now. Ultra back up into 3rd position. Your boy now down 4th on 24% hards. 23. Them things are going to puncture soon. They are not lasting long, and it is very clear he is struggling. 21, and he stays out for another lap. Your boy stays out for another lap. There it is. The puncture's come in. The puncture is there, and that's what happens when you leave it too late. It's on the rear right as well. Rear punctures are horrible. Look at this huge hold up, which can't really be controlled. That is really unfortunate, but it was coming. That was coming to him for staying out so long on that tire. So now we've got Ultra and Davey Serracchiara fighting for P3 once again. 10 laps to go. 13-second gap to Van Horn. As for Theo, his tyres are not gonna be enough to get ahead of Van Horn. Same thing for Serracchiara's. However, with the current way this Drivers' Championship is, Theo would be crowned the World Drivers' Champion at the moment. I think I just saw a position change there in the standings, actually. I think it's true of Ultra. If Ultra is able to get up at P3, he will make an extra place in the standings, so that's good for him. There we go, he's up into 3rd there, and that would put him up into 9th, actually. Up 3 points. I think Ferrari are still yet to get a podium this season. Let me just confirm it. Yes, they are. They are still yet to get the podium. What is the fastest pit stop this season? I don't know, because it just keeps changing. See, many times in the 2.2s. What is this? Anyways, I'm getting distracted. Sorry about that. So Serracchiara, he's got DRS, and on the strip, of course, we've seen it many times in this race. It is really beneficial. Ultra in the 3rd, down to 4th. You could expect this sort of swap to happen constantly, but because this are not gaining much on Van Horn, certainly not enough. But there we go, Van Horn having an incident there.
Here we head into turn 2, and unable to do anything about that crash. Thankfully, though, they come away from that unharmed.
So looking at that, it looks like Van Horn lost grip on the exit. He hit the wall, and as a result, he then lost more grip after that. And of course, Yeah, he managed to just catch it. However, looking at this, Theo is gaining a good amount of time on Van Horn. And also, he just received puncture. Okay, so that's another puncture being received here in Las Vegas. He was on the mediums, and yep, that Williams got through just in the nick of time there. And anyone else in puncture region, yep, Thierry Headley. He could also get a puncture this lap. 3 more laps left in this Grand Prix. But just like he's managed to do some good work to get up at the 9th position. 8th should be his very shortly. Now with 3 laps to go, I highly doubt anyone's going to be making pit stops. And there we go. Van Horn fighting for the lead now. Theo trying his best to get ahead. He's going to go around the outside. That's going to turn to the inside of this corner. And as you can see, the big dome there. Theo is up into the lead this race. And there we go. Headley's going to puncture. As I predicted. Actually, he was alongside me yesterday at the time. There we go. It's rear right again. That is the tyre that seems to be wearing out the most for people. And once again, it is Ferrari fighting for a podium position. It may not go that way though. And yep, it's just swapping. I don't know how to commentate over this. Now, due to DRS, Van Horn's managed to actually stay within a reasonable gap of Theo. He's got to do it this lap though. It is the last lap of this race. Theo, unless he out of nowhere DNFs, it's safe to say he has won this World Drivers' Championship. He's fought hard for it. Yes, the previous 2 races, he should have finished 2nd. And he got 1st due to flukes. I think even he would admit that as well. But other than that, it has been an excellent season for the Red Bull. There's still 1 more race to go. I didn't expect to be saying that we'd have a champion early. I thought it all would be going to the final round. But here we go. Around these corners here, fighting his closest championship rival as Van Horn moves up at the 1st. Obviously, he knows he's not going to be able to get this title with RB. And that Theo's going to be the one to get it. He's got a big job here to defend on the strip. But I highly doubt he's going to do that. I think Theo might have a chance to get up in the 1st here. As we are in the final sector now, I think. Theo doesn't go for it. He's allowed Van Horn there to keep 1st position. Because surely, if Theo really wanted that, he would have went for it there and then. But there we go. Round the final corner. We're about to go. Van Horn wins the race. And Theo is your Season 1 World Champion for Red Bull Racing. Incredible performance. Van Horn is your race winner today. And wait. Oh, sorry, I didn't even look at the battle there that went on right after. It looks like Ultra managed to just secure a P3 in the end.
I think that's a race that people will be talking about for years to come.
Look at that! The Ferrari and the Aston Martin were side by side at the end. The gap between them is displayed as quite literally nothing. Essel's 44 up 11 places that race, barely missing out on P6, which is Daniel Bogdasarov. Sauber having a nice consistent race, keeping P5 and 6 there. Ocampo down P15, and Wada comes across the line for P16. And your boy, it's been an unfortunate race for him there due to the punctures. And he's going to finish P17. Then we've got Olsen who's next, and finally Headley, as Olsen snatches the past lap. Headley, I thought he had a puncture. That's just the spark which aren't supposed to be there. But yeah, solid race there. Of course, Theo, your driver's champion. So congratulations to him.
That sealed it for the Red Bull driver. The championship is theirs. Taking a look back on the season, Karoo, just how will the team be feeling, do you think?
This is a really low moment for the team after a season where they just haven't been able.
So there we go, Versio is your Drivers' Champion, and that's the official gap. But then, by the end of it, 7 milliseconds between Ultra and Serrakiera for that podium space. Wow. Just wow. Of course, there's the rest of the grid that had this race finished. Now, we go to the Drivers' Championship, and there it is. We saw the cutscene before. Versio has officially secured it. And here it is, the rest of the standings here. Serrakiera now, only 4 points back on your boy. He still has a chance to get P4 here. Palomino in 3rd place is secured. The entire top 3 have secured their positions in the championship. No changes will be made after that. And for the constructors, no change in that as well. And the entire top 3 in this championship have also secured their places. Oh, sorry, no, not Aston Martin. It is still possible for Haas to overtake them. However, is it likely? Nah. But other than that, that is everything done there. So we'll see you into the next round, which is Brazil for the final race of the season.
For the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. The Autodromo Jose...
Okay, welcome back. We're here in Interlagos for the final round of the season. If you're just joining us, championship is wrapped up. That has been won by Versio. And the Constructors was wrapped up in Qatar with Red Bull being the Constructors champions. So no more places to fight for at the top. The only thing people are going to be fighting for is just the pride of winning a race. So, for the Grand Prix, looking at the race starting grid, we have got Daniel Bogdasarov on pole position from Versio alongside. Then we've got Thierry Headley, David Serrakiera, Taco Van Horn, Alex Palomino, Axel 44, Jensen Olsen, BDS, Ultra Avgorov, Diamond Castro, Sebastian Campo, Kari, Dorito Vendetto, Vinayak, Eduardo, Fong, Silla, and why? A pit lane penalty there for your boy. Okay. Really not good for him, considering Serrakiera is only 4 points back in the championship on him, and he's starting in 4th. So, your boy needs a really big miracle to get this done. Also, just so your boy isn't held up, I'm just going to put the wet tires onto my drivers real quick and then retire them. It should hopefully make it easier for your boy to get past. So here we go, the race.
Welcome back, everyone. The final preparation.
So here we go, the final moments.
Time will tell. Here at the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
So, yep, that is right. We are underway. And there we go, your boy is all the way here, waiting for all the drivers to get by. You can see the drivers heading into turn 1. Bogdasarov leading the pack. First Theo into second. Now your boy is just managed to get out of his pit box, well, out the pits there. He is going to be on his way very soon. And he will have to try and get past these cars there, which is annoying. That's the downside of this, but it's the only way I can get a proper simulation in, okay? So here we have Daniel Bogdasarov continuing to lead. He's trying to get the win, which he deserved in Qatar, which he didn't get in the end. Meanwhile, your boy, he is still trying to get ahead of my 2 Twitch cars, who should hopefully not be an issue for him. Now these are just blockades in a way, I guess. They're not supposed to be there. And unfortunately, he has been held up. He's getting held up quite a bit by them. I am deeply sorry for that. There we go, he gets ahead of them. There we go, they come in to get retired from this race. But here we go, the battle we want to see. Bogdasarov versus Theo. We've got a few Brazilian drivers on this grid, so you've got many people to try and celebrate. Of course, you can hear the crowd's approval for that overtake. The Brazilian driver gets ahead of the Frenchman behind. Van Horn in 5th. He's just going to try and keep his position in the championship, which actually, wait, he saw you did that. That was secured. But as stand, David Sergio will be ahead of your boy in the standings by 11 points. So your boy's got a lot of work. He's on medium tyres. They are better than the guys at the front, so there's always that chance he could get back up into the points paying position later on in the race. You've got DRS for versus Theo, as Bogdasarov is right there, and the Brazilian gets back up into first. Now I'm sure the Brazilian crowd would also love to see this man, David Cerqueira, move up into second in this race. He has DRS, but it's not powerful because there's no slipstream to boost it. Bogdasarov, he is ready to fight back. Can't get ahead of the Red Bull, which is unfortunate for him. And here we go, Bogdasarov down the inside of first Theo, still can't get ahead yet. And there we go, Cerqueira up into second place. That was actually a pretty nice move. SL44 in 6th at the moment, trailing Van Horn. Wait, I don't know what's happened here. Your boy's had a bit of an issue. He's managed to lose a lot of time to the guys ahead of him. He is completely lacking pace. And oh, first Theo has got a mechanical fault. That's really bad for the Red Bull driver. He does move up into first, however, Red Bull are going to have to look at that and manage, because that could be a serious issue later down the line in this Grand Prix. Bogdasarov is back leading the way for Kick Sauber. And there goes Cerqueira back up in a third after getting ahead of Van Horn. He's lost time, so he's got to try and remake that time on the driver's head, which I think he has done. For the person in the chat, that is your boy down last. And yeah, he is most certainly losing time. Now last lap he has gained, on Lamfong then, P19. And yeah, I think it is safe to say it is the straights. Which is quite weird considering RB are good in a straight line. That is very weird, that. But here we go. Possibility rate? No. Now, what I will do after this race is, I would like to compare the cars of certain teams, just so I get a general idea of where different teams are. Of course, this is on Xbox, so I don't have the database editor, which I have on PC. Yes, I've got skill on PC, but it runs like potato sometimes, like 99% of the time. It's really good though when it actually does work though. There goes Carlson bottom. He looks to be the first to make a stop here. He's moved on to hard tyres already. Dal Boxarov has worn out his tyres. Same thing for Versio. Bjorn Van Horn, he's managed them. He has really managed those tyres. It looks like, yeah, temperatures are really high. Yeah, getting corners, that makes sense. I'm just going to assume that it is a cornering based setup that they've got on. Michael Boxarov, it was a good stop. And that puts him out in clean air. Clean air, best possibility for him. And I expected it. Verst Theo reacted to the stop. They've got hards out there. And there we go. So Boxarov is ahead of Versio. Versio's still gonna warm up his tires, and Boxarov's, he's on softs. Softs was an interesting call to go for, considering the temperatures are really, really high. Like that lap looked like Boxarov had lost around 3.5% on his tires, which you don't want to be losing. That is a pretty big number. Now Van Horn he's continuing to just conserve the race, keep it slow, and his tires are benefiting due to it, so that's good for him. Palomino and your boy still due to pit. Now your boy going for mediums is good because he can stay out for a longer time. And that should hopefully get him ahead of people he was fighting before. Headley's damage is not good right now. And here you go. It is a mechanical fault. Your boy going for soft, but there's an issue. An issue in the pit stop there. That's really cost him. That has cost him a lot of time. Nicholas Palomino is going to come out the pits in P18. Your boy's going to be P19. No, P20. So that is going to be really bad for him. He's not going to feel good after that pit stop. Just I don't think any driver would. Oh, Boxarov and Versio both with mechanical faults at the moment. That's what I've noticed. I think Versio already had one actually. Well, he's just got another one. It's gotten worse. Yeah, Versio is not careful whatever the fault is. He could be under serious risk of possible retirement in the final race of the season, which will be heartbreaking for his home crowd. Also, I'm glad they're probably going to be loving the fact that he's already the champion. But they're here to see him win for one last time this season. Here is versus Theo, with 2 mechanical faults versus Bogsarov, who has 1 mechanical fault. The two are side by side through the center S's, and round turn 3, versus Theo is ahead, Bogsarov on the inside line. That is good for the Sauber, who also gets the DRS, and he stays ahead of the Brazilian. Oh wait, something's happened there. It's a spin.
Here's the replay. Nothing wrong so far.
Right by Bogsarov, and
There it goes. That
oh,
won't do anything to help those tyres.
now that right there was really close to hitting the wall. He was quite lucky to have gone away with that. And now he's got his teammate right behind for company. Now there we go. That would probably be some form of pressure. Getting to Theo, whose pace is gone. His pace is now completely gone. And also, for once this season, we've got both Ferraris doing well. Here we go, in towards the first corner. Shifting down some gears, Ultra up into 4th. Yabi up to 15th, well, yeah. It is a quicker car. In fact, it might be the quickest on the grid. It's probably 1st or 2nd quickest. And yeah, he is on softs versus a whole bunch of people on hards. I do feel like, though, maybe a pit stop soon will help. And it would be a pit stop on the hards. That's what I would do personally. But yeah, first Theo is struggling a lot. Your boy has moved up into 13th position. But yeah, that fault obviously didn't help. The spin has not helped at all. That has completely ruined the race of Theo, who is nowhere near the lead which he was once fighting for. And you are Bogsarov. He is now horse 10th position. He's in the pits. From softs to hards, those are hards that will probably get him to the end of this race. Now Bogsarov has been put in some clean air. However, Dirty Air will start to get to him very soon. And this is where Dirty Air would take place and start to really affect the car. There's Theo, the driver who was once fighting earlier on. And he's now a pit stop ahead of Theo. Now that is going to be very annoying for Theo. As there we go, he has been overtaken at the very corner where he ended up spinning, which completely killed off his race pace. Here goes the race goes by. Bogsarov continuing to push through the grid. I think Theo's made a pit stop. Yep, he's just pit on softs. So here we go. Also, he's going to be leaving pits right now. He is on hard tyres. Fresh hards. Hitting now for hard is probably a good strat. That'll get you to the end of the race easily. Of course, you could put onto a softer compound later if you really want to push and possibly risk things. See, some of the strategy in F1 could be a little bit like gambling. This thing, Ferrari very clearly don't do gambling because they don't do strategies in real life. So, yeah. Well, how much man was that comment in? Bogsarov, his car is struggling. his Sauber has now got another mechanical fault. One more and he's done. I guess Brazil's hopes this race now lie on Davide Cerqueira, who has opted for medium tyres. He could be coming in another time today. His 30 laps of medium seems quite unrealistic. And there we go, he set the fast lap of the race on them medium tyres. And there we go, he takes P2. Okay, so the medium push is working out for him. He's now got to clear his teammate, which he does easily. Van Horn up at the third, he's now within DRS range of Davide Cerqueira, and this should hopefully for him be an easy move, and it is. As the hopes of Brazil start to fade away now, Palomino's tyres are gone. They are completely dead, 28% on them. Now your boy is up into 11th position now, so he is closer to the points. The points is where he needs at the moment to try and make sure that he finishes in a good place in this championship, aka 4th position, which is still in the battle for.
And we've got an incident here, and that's trouble for
Oh.
Red Bull.
Red Bull and Alpine of Lab Forest versus Theo involved once again, turn 4 as well. And honestly, as much as Brazil really love Brazilian drivers like Verstio was definitely at fault there. He did not give Fong any room on the exit, and he was the one behind. Fong now has critical damage, and that is to the front wing. Other parts of the car may also have some damage as well, so he will not be happy. And there it is, Verstio, 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. That has officially came in. Now Fong there, getting a new front wing on his car. He comes out in last place and also in the middle of traffic. Davide Cerqueira as well, he now leads this race on the medium tyre. As we are in the final 20 laps of not only this race, but the season as a whole. And Cerqueira, he's pulling away now from the guys like Van Horn and Olsen. This is the worst situation for a race that your boy could have right now. Like, the absolute worst. Ultra, though, once again, finding a way to get up into third. Of course, he at Ferrari will be happy for securing their first podium of the season last time out in Las Vegas. Once again, he's fighting Aston Martin for it. Different Aston Martin, same Ferrari though, so not the exact same scenario. Lam Fong, in the instant earlier, he spins in turn 1.
And then the car just goes. Oh, dearie me, you don't want to be doing that.
So yep, more disappointment for Alpine as they are struggling to just manage things now. There you go, Van Horn down the inside. And there you go, he's up for the first place now. This would have been perfect for Van Horn in this Drivers' Championship. But as you can see, no matter what, he would have missed out by only a few points. So maybe if Verstio has been down a couple more places in Las Vegas, then maybe Van Horn would have had a chance at the championship this race. Even if he was a good 25 points back, maybe 24, depends on how comeback would work. Because they would have the same amount of wins. Which is second place, I don't know. It would have most certainly been possible for him to do it. Boxcar receives another fault. And here is Cerqueira of DRS. He can't get ahead of Van Horn at this stage. But Theo, he's got another mechanical fault. Another one.
But there. Oh dear, that's not what they need right now.
So yeah, it's only a couple more now until Verse Theo and Bogusarov are at big risk of retirement. Well, they already are at a big risk. And here we go. Once again, battles for the lead. Just the leader switching non-stop. This is just what was happening in Vegas. Except this time, we're down in South America instead of North America. Palomino, another mechanical fault. It's been a very bad day for the Red Bull team. With them just not doing well. Now, here's the thing, your boy is now up into first position. I mean, sorry, he's up into 10th position. He's in the points. It has took well over 60 laps, but he has actually done it. But David Saracchiara now carrying Brazil. He's carrying their hopes. He's on mediums, slightly better than Van Horn's hards. But it's not going to matter because we're in the final stages of the season. And yeah, it doesn't matter what happens. And there we go. The crowd loving that right there. This is good for Aston Martin. They would easily secure their P3 with this result. Haas aren't even in the points. This is a dream for Aston Martin. They won't gain any place in the championship, but they'll certainly say they have got an incredibly quick car. Which they most certainly do. 3 laps to go. And the battle still continues. It is Van Horn versus David Saracchiara for the win of this race. As versus Theo, he is still struggling on he's still struggling on the softs, and of course his car is also just not in a good state right now. Red Bull in a mess at the moment. Now Saracchiara's got to do something as we had the final 2 laps of this race. And there we go, Saracchiara back up into the lead of the race. We are going to be entering the final lap of the race and the season as a whole. Now it's just who's going to win it. It could easily be Saracchiara because Van Horn slipped away, and he slipped away at the worst possible time. Final lap, and David Saracchiara is the one who leads it. So just letting you listen to the engines there. Saracchiara, of course, he could not have dreamed for such a better race than what has went on here. It is currently looking to be a 1-4 finish for Aston Martin, which I'm sure is the best of the season so far for them. And Gregorov gets ahead of Nicholas Palomino. BDS gets ahead of Palomino, who has got 0 pace left. Who knows, maybe Eduardo could also get by. But we're not focusing on that, we're focusing here on David Saracchiara. When the other Brazilian driver, Versio, fell down, he took his place, and David Saracchiara wins in front of his whole crowd and wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. Van Horn finishes second to round off his season. And it looks like, yeah, you can see from there, he'd actually ran out of fuel across the line. And F1 manager, that is still legal.
Disappointed with a race like that. A consummate professional through and through.
So yeah, he's just parked up there in the middle of the track, which is not good. Many other drivers coming across the line there. Palomino does keep P8 in the end of it. So many cars though, just there. Red flag probably gonna get called out for this. Oh my. I did not expect the scene to be ending like this, and there it is. The red flag is out. That is it for your race. This here is just your average city traffic.
Sometimes I think you just have to.
And there it is. There is the official confirmation. Dave Sergio wins, and he gets P4 in the championship as a result. So well done to him. Then we'll tackle Van Horn, Ultra, and of course here is the rest of the finishers in the Grand Prix. So no one has retired that race. First year though, painful way to end off your season. In the end, Van Horn finished with 189 points from Versio on 204. Nicholas Palomino, third, for him, solid. In the final race though, Davey Saracchiara gets his maiden win and gets ahead of your boy. Jensen Olsen finishes 6th. Then it was Thierry Headley, Dal Boxarov, Ultra, who managed to get P9 in Las Vegas, and he just kept it this race despite having 2 DNFs. Grigorov finished in 10th, then it was Vinayak, Akari, Exils24, Bijan Sonic, David Castro, Sebastian Campo, Lam Fong, Ahmed Silla, Eduardo, and last place in the standings was Dominic Di Benedetto, who only scored 1 point for Alpine. In the constructors, Williams did get a place. They overtook Mercedes for P8. And of course, the Constructors Championship was already secured. Red Bull first from RB and Aston Martin. Haas fourth, then it was Sauber, Ferrari, McLaren, Williams, Mercedes, Alpine. So that is it for the Grand Prix in Sao Paulo and for the Formula 1 season. So I will see you whenever. I don't know when it'll be now, but we'll see you in season 2. If you want to join, make sure to let me know on the YouTube video when that comes out. Just put it in the comments and I will add you to a list of drivers who can join for season 2. Can't wait to see you then. Hope you have a good day and goodbye.